members from the nomination. Thank you. Continuing on, the next thing that you need to know is that the moderators are Audra T. Jones and Keisha Mark, who's a part of the team. The other thing you need to be aware of that the candidates will have 2 minutes for the contested races to give an opening and then 2 minutes to close. Also, as a reminder, okay, I see a hand up. Also, as a reminder, you should all have already received, if you have emails, an email from the election vendor saying, hey, this is our email process. Did you receive it? And if so, everything is great. If you didn't, you need to communicate with me to say, I did not receive an electronic email for that testing. The election will kick off on March 2nd, and it will end on April 1st at 11:59 p.m. Also, there's a website with all of the candidates' information, and it also contains a page for frequently asked questions. I assume that hand that was up for questions, somebody must have addressed that. So we may proceed going forward since that hand is down. With that being said, I'll now turn it over to Keisha Mark, who will kick this off for us for the non-contested races.
Good evening. My name is Keisha Mark. I'm a member of the nominating committee for this cycle of the National Hampton Alumni Association Incorporated elections. As stated, the uncontested candidates will have 2 minutes to give a speech. There will not be a question period for the uncontested candidates. We will begin with the first uncontested office is corresponding secretary.
Before you go there, I'm sorry. Let's just, everybody else go to mute. I forgot to make that announcement. Everybody else go to mute except for the person that will be speaking.
Thank you. So our first uncontested office is the corresponding secretary. The candidate for the corresponding secretary is Miss Pamela Askew. Miss Askew, you have the floor.
Good evening, Hamptonians. It is both an honor and a joy to rise as a candidate for corresponding secretary of the National Hampton Alumni Association, Incorporated. My name is Pamela Bennett Askew, a proud graduate of the Bachelor of Science degree in accounting and a lifelong believer in the power of promise of our Hampton family. Professionally, I serve as the executive director of the Period Project in Greenville, South Carolina, where communication, accountability, and service are central to my work. My service to Hampton has been rooted in leadership and commitment. I currently serve as the president of the Southeast region, presiding over 16 chapters across 6 states. Previously, I served as the Southeast Region Financial Secretary and as the charter president of the Upstate South Carolina chapter. These experiences have given me a strong understanding of how our alumni network operates at every level. I am seeking the role of corresponding secretary because I believe in communication is the heartbeat of a strong organization. My vision is to strengthen the connection between Hampton University and its alumni through communication that is clear, timely, purposeful, so that every Hamptonian feels informed, valued, and inspired to engage. Communication is also about building bridges across generations, across regions, and among alumni, all in service to our beloved home by the sea. By collaborating with national leadership and chapters, I will help ensure a unified voice that reflects our commitment to the standard of excellence. At the core of my candidacy are 3 principles: responsiveness, clarity, and connection. These will guide my service and help keep alumni engaged and invested in Hampton's future. Hampton has given us so much. Serving as your corresponding secretary is one way I hope to give back with dedication, integrity, and pride. Thank you for your consideration, your trust, and our continued love for Hampton University.
Thank you, Pamela Askew, candidate for corresponding secretary. Our next uncontested office is recording secretary. Our candidate is Ms. Sharice McAdoo, but she is unable to join us at the moment due to a family emergency. We are hoping that by the end of this evening, she will be able to join us, but let's keep her lifted in prayer. Moving on to the next uncontested office is for treasurer. The candidate for treasurer is Kajami Leaping. Mr. Leaping, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. For those who may not know me, my name is Kajami Liaping, and I'm running for treasurer of the NHAA. I'm truly grateful to be, it's not standing, sitting before you today because this organization means a lot to me, not just professionally, but personally as a proud Hamptonian. My background is in finance. I hold both a bachelor's and a master's degree in finance, and I spent my career working in financial leadership and analysis. But credentials alone don't make a great treasurer. Commitment does. That's why I'm proud to say that I currently serve as the vice president of the Prince George's County chapter and as your assistant treasurer. I've been in the work, in the meetings, in the systems. I understand how things operate today, and I also see clearly where we can do better. This means there is no learning curve, just forward momentum to keep the ball rolling. My vision here is simple: modernize, streamline, and strengthen the NHAA's financial foundation. I want to bring smarter processes, clearer reporting, and stronger internal controls that support our chapters and elevate our national operations. I also want to help build a more strategic and transparent financial relationship with Hampton University so we're aligned, efficient, and ready for the future. NHAA deserves financial leadership that is proactive and not reactive, leadership that plans ahead, embraces innovation, and treats every dollar as an investment into our alumni and our Hampton legacy. I'm ready to lead, ready to serve, and respectfully ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Liaping. Our next uncontested office is for the Vice President, Eastern Region. The candidate is Ms. Patricia Perry. Ms. Perry, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Mark. Good evening, everyone. My name is Patricia Perry, and I am seeking the continued support of Hamptonians in the office of Vice President of the Eastern Regions. I currently serve in the role, but I wanted to share with you a little bit more about me and why I'm continuing to seek your support. By way of background, I'm a class of 1989 graduate from Hampton. Genesis 2 is my class, and I have supported the class efforts over the years in many different ways, applying my time, talent, and treasure as needed. In addition, I graduated from Hampton with a BS in accounting. My background is business predominantly. For the last 30 years, I've led at the executive level in various profit, nonprofit, and government organizations responsible for human resources, HR, budgeting, strategy, operations, etc. So I'm now semi-retired and looking to continue to apply my time, talent, and treasure in a way that is more purpose-driven and aligned to what I believe in. I love Hampton, and I've always wanted our university to be the excellent university that I know that we are. Being a part of this association is a privilege and one that I don't take lightly. Over the time that I've served in the current role, I've been able to foster great relationships with the 4 regions that make up this Eastern region. So kudos to my team members in the region, particularly North Atlantic, Southeastern, as well as Mid-Atlantic and North Carolina. We've been able to forge deeper relationships, make sure we understand what the rules are, and then ready to take action to make certain that we're stronger for our association. It will be my honor and pleasure to continue to serve in this capacity. and apply my time, talent, and treasure in such a way that we not only advance the strategy of the university, but also the strategy of this association and the next administration in terms of their direction. So I humbly ask for your support in the role of Vice President, Eastern Regions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. Our next uncontested office is for the Vice President of the Western Region, and the candidate is Carmentia Greer. Ms. Greer, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Smart. Good evening, Hampton family. I'm Dr. Carmentia Greer, Ogre Phi Ogre 13, class of 2009, and it is truly an honor to be before you as the candidate for the Western Region Vice President this evening. Previously, I've served as President and Vice President of the San Antonio Austin chapter and currently serve as the chair for the Hampton Alumni Conference and serve as the Southwest Region President, which includes Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. And professionally, I serve as a consultant specializing in project management and special projects. My platform is grounded in clear commitment, strong chapters, engaged alumni, and a connected Western region. First, I stand for chapter development and sustainability. Our chapters are the heartbeat of the National Hampton Alumni Association, Incorporated. Whether the chapter is emerging, reactivating, or established, it deserves consistent support, strong governance, and the tools needed to thrive. Second, I stand for intentional alumni recruitment and engagement. The Western region spans a wide and diverse geographic area, which means we must be proactive in reconnecting with unconnected alumni, engaging young alumni, and creating a meaningful pathway for involvement. Every Hamptonian, regardless of distance, should feel connected to our shared legacy and empowered to contribute to its continued success. Third, I stand for regional collaboration and national alignment. I believe in fostering strong communication among chapter leaders, regional leadership, and the national board. Through collaboration, transparency, and two-way communication, we can ensure that the Western region's voice is represented of our chapters and they feel supported. My leadership philosophy is simple. Leadership is not just about holding office. It's about building capacity, creating connection, and ensuring our chapters are positioned to thrive for generations to come. Although I'm running unopposed, I do not take your support for granted. I sincerely appreciate those who know my work and those who will learn about my work as I get to know more of you across the Western region and all of the Hampton alumni. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Greer. Brother Chair Lowry, I cannot see if Ms. McAdoo was able to join us.
Sharice is not on the call.
Okay, thank you so much. With that, I would like to say on behalf of the nominating committee for the National Hampton Alumni Association, we thank all the candidates who we just heard from for your time and your willingness to serve our association. Now we will transition to our contested candidates. This portion will be moderated by my colleague, Dr. Audra Jones. Dr. Jones, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Sister Mark. I appreciate you. And it's a pleasure to be with you guys this evening. I am Audra T. Jones. I am blessed to serve on the nominating committee, and I am class of 95 QT2. And so this portion of the event this evening is for the contested race. And for the contested candidates, we would like to let you know, Brother Lowry is is our timekeeper for the evening. And he will give a 30-second time stop right before, so we have 90 seconds in total, but you will have a 30-second warning. Okay. So our first contested race is the office of First Vice President. There are two candidates, and the two candidates are for First Vice President, Jeff Silverthorne, and the second candidate is Tawana Williams. A coin toss was taken earlier, and the first candidate to speak will be Ms. Tawana Williams. Ms. Tawana, you have 2 minutes for your opening speech.
Greetings, Hamptonians. When you hear the word alumni engagement and alumni giving, I don't want you to think about ideas. I want you to think about results. My name is Tawana Williams. I currently serve as the Southeastern Regional Vice President to the state of Tennessee and the Nashville chapter president. For more than 30 years, I proudly serve as Quintessence Class of 1992 class leader. Not for a season, not for a movement, but with consistency, commitment, and accountability year after year. I earned my Bachelor's of Science degree in accounting, and I have an MBA from Tennessee State University. I work as a financial analyst, and I own my own event planning business, which success depends on planning, trust, and follow through. Those same principles I use as I guide us to lead. For nearly 3 decades, I've also served in various positions in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, working across generations from college students to centurions, learning that effective leadership honors experience while intentionally creating space for new voices. That perspective shapes my vision. My leadership has been shaped by experience, proven results, and mentorships, particularly the leadership modeled by the late Diane Baldwin, who taught me the importance of purpose and preparation and bringing people together with intention. That example continues to guide me when I lead. I will bring a well-rounded leadership, clear communications, creative ideas, and a track record of turning vision into action. I am a hands-on, accessible, and deeply committed to serving our alumni community with excellence. If you're looking for leadership that is consistent, inclusive, and prepared to lead at a national level, I'm ready to serve. So let's take this work, elevate what's possible, and move our alumni community forward and do it together.
Thank you so much, Ms. Williams. Mr. Silverthorne, you have 2 minutes for your opening.
Good evening, fellow Hamptonians. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to each of you for your unwavering support of our home by the sea and the National Hampton Alumni Association. Your dedication, whether through service or giving, is the heartbeat of this organization. My name is Jeff Silverthorne, and I am running for the first vice president because I believe the association deserves a leader who offers experience, strategy, and results. My leadership foundation is built upon the discipline of a U.S. Army officer, the strategic focus of a corporate manager, and the heart of a teacher, recently honored as the 2024-2025 Guilford County Schools Teacher of the Year. We have much to celebrate. As the current co-chair of Alumni Giving, I have worked with my co-chair, Ty L. Hayes, and alongside you to drive a 172% increase in total giving, reaching a historic high of $6.5 million in FY25. The U.S. News and World Report reports indicates that we're the #1 HBCU in alumni giving and number 18 among all universities. My strategy is to improve these historic results using what I call the Class of '85 blueprint or the 5-year runway, starting reunion planning 5 years out. Using these strategic plans, we maintained a continuous engagement that led to 180 in attendance for our 40th class reunion and exceeding our giving goal by 51%. My vision is to scale this success on the national and class level to every class and chapter leader.
30 seconds.
Towards data-driven governance, using proving survey templates to ensure we are building experiences alumni want. We will implement hybrid engagement models. I am ready to be your strategic bridge between alumni passion and university success. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're going to move right into our question answer period. And we have several questions for you. And we took a coin toss to see who would go first. So Ms. Tawana, you will answer first, and then Mr. Jeff, you will answer second. The first question is under leadership experience. Share your experience in leading successful chapter development initiatives or alumni recruitment efforts in the past, and how would you apply those experiences in this role? Ms. Tawana?
The Nashville chapter was currently, well, at the time, inactive. And as I became the leader of our state of Tennessee, I took it upon myself to make the efforts to reactivate our chapter. In those efforts, I have been able to contact our fellow alumni that are in the city, as well as try to build up our growth for the chapter. For the class, since I have been our only class leader, over the time, we were, of course, given our list, but it was key for us to make sure that we stayed connected with our class members and had our other class members work with other class members to make sure that they were engaged and a part of our community. So with our class, our goal was to make sure that all of our class members stay informed, are connected, and grow within each other.
Thank you. Jeff, would you like the question repeated?
Please.
Absolutely. Please share your experience in leading successful chapter development initiatives or alumni recruitment efforts in the past, and how would you apply those experiences in this role?
So as far as engagement and recruitment, one of the things that I've done, and I've served at the chapter level as a vice president for the Winston-Salem chapter, and I'm currently the vice president for the Greensboro chapter. As it relates to recruitment and engagement, one of the things that I do is I try to support all chapter activities, but more than that, I try to engage alumni wherever they are. So what I try to do from a recruitment standpoint is I try to establish a relationship with the alum, followed by some dialogue to determine what level of interest they would have in participating. And then what I try to do is I try to meet people at the level they can participate at. If that means that they can come to a meeting once a quarter, then I accept that and we move on with once a quarter. If they want to come to just engagement opportunities or outings that we have, we keep them informed about that. If they want to engage on a higher level or they want to be a part of the chapter, then I bring them into the chapter and I work with them to see where they can best fit in. So my whole thing about engagement and recruitment is I just do it and I try to go around the Hampton community in my own community as an ambassador so that people know that if anyone in the area is looking for a place to serve in a chapter and it relates to Hampton, they can see me.
Thank you both. The next question is around membership growth. How would you assess and address the specific needs and interests of different alumni demographics to foster a more inclusive and engaged NHAA Inc. community? Ms. Tawana, the floor is yours.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Absolutely. How would you assess and address the specific needs and interests of different alumni demographics to foster a more inclusive and engaged NHAA Inc. community?
First, we have to understand that the needs of maybe a younger alumni is different than the needs of an emeritus alumni. We are a growing and our lives are different. And so we have to meet each member at their needs. I noticed that at some of our reunion events that the younger alumni, they aren't present. And I don't know if it's that they aren't aware of the importance, because if you go to homecoming, you'll see them in full effect. So we have to first find out what engages them and what allows them to want to come back for reunion weekends. And then maybe we need to look at the activities that we're planning so that we can make it more engaging for all alumni. It's a matter of meeting everyone at their needs and finding out that each individual class, each individual member might be at a different stage in their life or in their career that will allow them to participate. But I know that if we have our alumni engaged, our leaders engaged, then our alumni will be engaged. And then they'll see the importance of joining our local chapters. And then they'll also see the value of giving back. And with all of those engagements, Hampton will thrive.
I do have a follow-up question. So you said meeting individual needs. Maybe provide for us an example of how you do that and the success rate. You know, how when you're meeting individual needs, maybe provide a solid example for us that you have successfully been able to implement and turn that into solid growth for the area that you serve.
Okay. So I can only give an example of my experience with my class. So when we first started and had our first 5-year reunion, we really didn't know exactly what to expect at a reunion weekend. And so we had to experience it to kind of understand, oh, but this is a time for us to get together as our class. It is a time for us to give back and to see the Alumni Association as a entity of all ages. And then we learned that, okay, so homecoming is homecoming, reunion year is reunion year. And once we were able to understand that, we planned our activities, we planned our budget. We did not, as we've gotten older, our expenses have our events have gotten a little bit more costly because we could afford it. So when I say meeting someone at their needs, we've understood that our giving goals are a little bit lower for our 5-year alumni and they're higher for our emeritus. And that kind of goes with our activities and encouraging them to come back. As
30 seconds.
Younger alumni, you might not be able to do all the things that you want to do, but we can meet them and have activities for them that are maybe a little bit more affordable.
Great, thank you. And I'll repeat the question again around membership growth. How would you assess and address the specific needs and interests of different alumni demographics to foster a more inclusive and engaged NHAA Inc. community?
So I have two different things that we've done in the past. As the class leader for the class of 85, along with my co-class leader, Anita Dixon, we have come up with two things that specifically have worked really well as it relates to growth, in numbers, as attendance and participation, as well as dollars. So as it relates to attendance, one of the things that we do is we meet our classmates where they are. So in other words, we started out by your question about assessment. We started out 5 years before our 40th class reunion by taking a survey. And then we took a survey right before, 1 year before our actual reunion. Now, what did that accomplish? Well, it let us know specifically from a planning perspective what each class member was interested in doing. We had a committee assess it. And what was the results? The results were that we had 180 in attendance at our 40th class reunion, which was significantly higher than we had ever done before. The second piece is we know that given the times that we're in, everybody cannot show up at Hampton University on the day of reunion. So what we did was we did what we called a hybrid engagement model, where we had regional or micro regional events where we went to specific cities, met with our alum all throughout the 5-year planning period so that we can make sure that everybody was engaged, whether they can come back for the reunion or not.
Great. Thank you both for your answers. We're going to move to the next category under alumni giving. And the question for you, Ms. Tawana, could you share an experience where you played a key role in a successful fundraising campaign? And what were the critical factors that led to its success?
So I have under my leadership with my class, as well as under my leadership with my chapter and my sorority, we were able to endow a scholarship in 1 year. So with my chapter, we endowed a $20,000 scholarship in 1 year. And with our class, we endowed a scholarship with our homecoming reunion activities. One, we had to tell our goal. We had to make sure that everyone understood why we were doing it and how we were going to do it. We set a giving campaign and we informed them of the giving campaign. And we constantly let them know where we were in our giving so that we could meet our goal. We were able to encourage our alumni to give because they understood that it's not just an obligation. It's our legacy. It's our connection to the university. So once you inform our alumni why it's important to give and how this will help in perpetuity, then they'll understand and they'll give. And sometimes you have to give a little competition because sometimes a competition will allow your alumni to want to make sure that they're involved. We want to make sure everyone is involved. So that is one example. But I would also say that every year after our first reunion, we have not only met our goal, we've superseded our goal. In 2017, we superseded our goal 22%. And in 2022, we superseded at 48%. So as you can see, we continue to grow and we'll continue to grow. So watch us at our next reunion and see how well we'll do.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Jeff, could you share an experience where you played a key role in a successful fundraising campaign, and what were the critical factors that led to its success?
So my my alumni giving experience is on the national level as well as on the level with the classes. So I've been serving as the co-chair for the alumni giving since 2018. When we started, our alumni giving was at 2.3 million. And as I stated earlier, we are currently at 6.5 million. So 172% growth. Now, this momentum that took us from 2.3 to 6.5, it wasn't a fluke. What happened was we sort of broke from that 2.3 area to 4 million in FY 2020. And we have put together programs all throughout the association that would allow us to reach this historic level. So that's on the national level. To go down to a micro level, how would I share this with the classes? Our class had a reunion goal for our 40th reunion of 175,000. We raised 264,000, 51% over the goal. How did we do it? We did it with a diversified fundraising strategy. We did several things. In addition to taking pledges from classmates, we offered everyone entry points wherever they felt they could come in to give. We did major small fundraisers that raised $18,000. Now, what I would say about that overall is that as the co-chair of alumni giving, I didn't just watch the numbers, I helped drive them. And I will re-engage our base so we aren't just raising more money, but we are bringing more Hamptonians into the fold.
Thank you. And as a follow-up question, so you said you were very active. Maybe provide a solid example for, again, us, the community, for specific something that you did to help drive engagement.
So to help drive engagement from an alumni giving standpoint, what we did for the class specifically was 2 years ahead of us having to meet the goal. We went out and asked every class member what would they give and would they participate in giving 2 years out. And then we gave them strategic initiatives along the way so that they could meet their goal. Now, one of the things we did, when you note this 51% over the target, was we incentivized people to give at a higher level by having our own donor reception the Thursday before reunion so that we could recognize those people that were making a heavy lift on behalf of Hampton University.
Thank you. And thank you both for answering that third question. And the last question will be about strategic visioning. And Ms. Tawana, your question is, in the context of strategic developments, how would you ensure that the initiatives align with the overall mission and objectives of NHAA?
One of the things that we haven't really talked about specifically is as the role of the vice president. It is to work with our class leaders. Our alumni community is at its best when each generation feels connected, supported, and inspired to stay engaged. My vision is rooted in international leadership that meets alumni where they are. For the younger alumni, we need to make sure that they are engaged, and we need to give them the opportunities and the tools that they need. Something simple as, how do you open up your account? Because I know that there are several accounts that may not be in compliance with our National Hampton alumni rules. We want to make sure that the activities that we plan for our reunion weekend are something that's engaging to not only our 5-year reunion, but our 50-year reunion. We need to empower our class leaders. Each class is unique, and they need that opportunity to have that customized support, fostering collaborations. Working with each alumni and each class leaders, there could be some mentoring. There can be some best practices that are created. And we also need to make sure that the tools that we're given, that all alumni are aware of the tools, and I should say all alumni leaders are aware of the tools that are provided and provide them with assistance if they are needing it.
30 seconds.
We need to build a connected and engaged and forward-moving alumni community. One, that communication is given early so that we can properly plan and participate. And it's strategic, that it is inclusive and inviting for all alumni.
Thank you. And the next, the question for you is, again, repeated, is in the context of strategic development, how would you ensure that the initiatives align with the overall mission and objectives of NHAA?
So one of the missions of NHAA is for us to work collaboratively with Hampton University. So in my role since 2018, what I have done to initiate this collaboration, I have met in 2018, I met with Dr. Harvey shortly after I was appointed to be in this position, to find out what his vision was for the university, what his thought process was that he wanted, the NHAA to do. I've done the same thing with President Williams shortly after he arrived. Once I have taken those two strategic visions from the university, then what I've done is I've worked with our NHAA board to come up with some proactive strategies that would work within the university. Some of those things that we've done, of course, is to expand our horizon on the things that we do relative to the organization, such as my co-class leader has initiated, the Legacy Blue Gala. Additionally, what I've done is I put together plans that would allow class leaders to be able to thrive and meet their reunion goals. So what I think works best and what's working right now is that we currently have a bi-weekly meeting with Hampton administration, and we discuss these things that are related to moving the vision of NHAA along with the university in unison.
Well, thank you both. That actually concludes our time. Thank you both so much for your effort this evening. Our time is actually up, and you will now each have 2 minutes for your closing statement. The first person to close will be Mr. Jeff Silverthorne.
Thank you. As we conclude tonight's forum, the choice for first vice president comes down to a simple question. Do you want to keep guessing, or do you want to start knowing? My strategic vision is centered on data-driven governance. We don't have to guess what alumni want. We use surveys to build an experience that classmates actually showed up for. And we want to use the same type of surveys and questioning to make sure that our growth is sustainable within the organization. We must also embrace a hybrid engagement model. Not every Hamptonian can make it back to the shores of Hampton every year. By utilizing regional micro events like the ones we've held in DC, Raleigh, and Atlanta, we can meet alumni where they are and keep them engaged year round. To stabilize our future, I'm going to continue to champion the 1868 monthly recurring gift. This honors our founding year while lowering the barrier to entry for our young alumni, turning casual donors into lifelong members. Our goal for FY26 is $7 million. As of today, we've raised about $3.7 million. I have 25 plus years of service with Hampton at all levels, the operational experience from my 27 years in corporate management with 3 Fortune 500 companies, and 24 years in higher education as an adjunct at High Point University, and my time in battle at Baghdad to lead the change and the charge to close the gap.
30
I am
seconds.
asking for your vote, not just because of what I intend to do, but because of what I have already delivered. Let's move from reactive planning to proactive strategy. Let's use the 5-year runway to engineer our success rather than just hoping for it. My name is Jeff Silverthorne, and I am ready to be your strategic bridge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silverthorne. The second person to close is Ms. Tawana Williams.
I want to be clear what leadership truly means to me. It's not about titles. It's about presence, preparation, and results. As the first vice president, my primary goal is to work with our class leaders. Our class leaders need to be informed. They need to be equipped with the information that they need. They need to be able to tell this information to our alumni. Once our alumni are informed and engaged, they'll participate in reunion weekends, they'll participate in homecomings, and they'll participate in activities that are held in their local community. However, we need to communicate effectively. We need to communicate efficiently and give the opportunity for them to prepare and properly make the arrangements that they need to be where they are. Everything I shared tonight reflects on one core goal: strong alumni engagement. It's not by chance, it's to be intentional. It requires listening to our generations, supporting our class leaders based on their specific needs, and welcoming young alumni with relevant opportunities to ensure that they are involved. My vision is grounded on collaboration and consistency. I believe in working closely with our class leaders, strengthening communication through reviewing the alumni programming to allow meaningful connection and creating an experience that encourage alumni not only to show up, but to give and to come back. Alumni giving is not a goal, it's a result due to trust, pride, and engagement done well.
30 seconds.
Under my leadership, I remain engaged, consistent. I have proven leadership abilities, not only at Hampton, but in other organizations, and is the tool of mine to make sure that our classes have the best practices, provide customized support, and ensure class leaders have the tools and guidance. Because when class leaders are supported, alumni are engaged. When alumni are engaged, they not only join their local chapters, they participate locally and at Hampton. And when alumni engage, they do increase their giving. So if you're looking for someone who wants to support and to be there for our alumni and for our class leaders, choose Tawana Williams.
Thank you, Jeff Silverthorne and Tawana Williams, for your dedication and good luck to you. This concludes this portion of our program. Thank you both. We will now move to the second contested race, which is the office of the president. We have 2 candidates, which are Kelly D. Boyer and April Broadway. The coin toss was taken earlier, and the first candidate to speak is April Broadway. Ms. April, you have 2 minutes for your opening speech.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Good evening, fellow Hamptonians. I am April Broadway, and I'm proud to serve as your current first vice president of the National Hampton Alumni Association, Incorporated. I graduated from Hampton University in 1988, Ogre Phi Ogre 6, with a degree in speech language pathology. Let's go Ogres. I have worked in the area of education, both secondarily and as well as higher ed. My main focus of work right now is in the area of compliance and risk management, so I truly understand the importance of policies and procedures. I'm honored to be before you tonight as a candidate for the president of this great association. My career, my service, and my heart have all been rooted in strengthening our alumni community and building systems that truly work. My journey with the National Hampton Alumni Association Incorporated began in 2008 when I returned from Japan and immediately reconnected with my local chapter. From there, I continued to serve first locally, then throughout the North Carolina region, where I had the privilege of serving as the regional president for 4 terms, and now nationally, where I've had this distinct pleasure to serve under 5 national presidents. This is a very unique honor that I'm proud to share as I aspire to become your next national president. I'd like to take this moment just to thank the past national presidents for their legacy that you have provided. Through these experiences, I have gained a deep understanding of what our alumni deserve, not need, but deserve. Leadership that is prepared, strategic, and firmly connected to the mission of Hampton University and the National Hampton Alumni Association. With your support, we will continue to create new pathways for engagement, connect alumni across generations and geographical locations, and cultivate a legacy that reflects the excellence we were taught to embody as students and now as valued alum. I look forward to sharing more about my vision as the evening continues. Thank you for joining to gain more information.
Thank you so much. Ms. Kelly, you have 2 minutes for your opening speech.
Thank you. Good evening, Hamptonians. I'm Kelly D. Boyer, class of 1991, Ogre Phi Ogre 7, and I'm honored to come before you tonight as a candidate for president of the National Hampton Alumni Association. Throughout my NHAA tenure, I've had the privilege of serving at every level of our organization, from scholarship chair to chapter president to Mid-Atlantic Region president and national vice president for the East. Currently, I co-chair our National Student Recruitment and Retention Committee, where I focus on supporting our endowed scholars and engaging students from their first interaction with Hampton through their transition into active alumni life. My vision as president is both simple and strategic: listening to our alumni through a national needs analysis, expanding chapter development, creating intentional leadership pathways for young alumni, and ensuring clear, consistent communication and transparency across every level of the NHAA. Because when the foundation is strong, membership grows, alumni giving increases, and sustainability follows. Simply put, if you build it, they will come. This moment calls for experienced leadership that understands our history, honors our traditions, and is prepared to move us forward with purpose. My campaign is about excellence elevated, honoring Hampton's legacy while strengthening the systems that will carry us into the future. I respectfully ask for your support, and I would be honored to serve as your president of the National Hampton Alumni Association. Thank you.
Thank you both for your opening speeches. I will remind you as we move into the question and answer period that you have 90 seconds, and our chairperson will provide a 30-second warning for you. Ms. April, you have the first question under leadership experience. The first question is, how do you plan to leverage your leadership skills to enhance the effectiveness and visibility of NHAA Inc.?
Thank you for the question, Dr. Jones. In my current role as the National First Vice President, a lot of that is being done now as I travel throughout our footprint to engage with various alumni and various positions throughout this country. Just recently, while in LA, it was definitely a working NHAA working trip, but we were looking and speaking with some of our alums that are in places such as Live Nation, as well as Amazon, all of those connections help us to build a stronger alumni base, which ultimately helps us to work towards our goal of one, making sure that we are giving information on how others can engage back with Hampton NHA as well as the university. But more importantly, we're also making sure that they have opportunities to tell us exactly how they can engage. And that always continues to cultivate a nature of people wanting to be asked to give or asked to participate. So that's what we're doing now. And in my leadership in this role, I have constantly listened and I remember to deliberately ask how people would like to engage.
Thank you. Ms. Kelly, your question again is, how do you plan to leverage your leadership skills to enhance the effectiveness and visibility of NHAA Inc.?
So in my professional capacity, I work in people operations. So I am accustomed to getting out, talking with my staff, my employees, in this case, our alumni, asking what they need and where they want to go. I've really thought about the visibility of the NHAA. I'm here in the DMV. We have over 30,000, alumni in the area, and some of our chapters have less than 25 people. So we need to increase our visibility. I plan on putting together a strong communications team within the NHAA, a good social media, digital media strategist to help promote all of our activities for every chapter, every region, and the national. I'm looking to start a dedicated newsletter for the NHAA. If we're not telling our own stories and getting our word out about who we are and what we're doing, no one will ever know about it. So putting these tools in place, the proper people to get the word out and get our message out, the proper tools, newsletters, better use of our social media, better use of our website, and better use of the word of mouth. I recently learned, I think in the last 2 years, we have a chapter that's been doing an event for 50 years. And things that if you don't know, you don't know, but we need to get that word out. So that's what I am focused on, the visibility through our different communication channels, through more word of mouth, and through engaging our alumni.
Thank you both. And the next question will be under and around membership growth. And Ms. Kelly, we're going to ask you to answer this one first, if you wouldn't mind. What strategies would you implement to attract and retain members, especially younger alumni?
Attracting and retaining our members comes from having strong foundation. Being a member of the NHAA for many, many, many years, I'm learning that you have to put together something in place. We have to be a functional organization. We have to be run well. And when people feel like I'm going into an organization that's operating well, that's run well, that has a vision, and you know what you're doing, and the people know how to run an organization, they'll come and they'll want to be a part of it. And so I have really focused my attention with this campaign on putting those systems into place, putting things into place with the chapter development to make sure they understand how to properly run a chapter, what's the focus of the NHAA, and then people will want to come. I had a conversation last week with a person in the military chapter. That's an untapped alumni base that I don't think we've paid enough attention to, our military. They're deployed. They're not always within the continental U.S., and they feel like out of sight, out of mind. So we need to do more outreach to our alumni, our military alumni. And the younger alumni, when I was a chapter president, I've learned to let the young people do what they do. They have so much to offer us and so much to give us. So come in, tell us how all of these new systems work that you all use, the different platforms that they can build, and ask them what they need to want to be a part of the Alumni Association.
Thank you. Ms. April, I'll repeat the question for you. What strategies would you implement to attract and retain members, especially younger alumni?
you for the question, Dr. Jones. I think the main word that we all need to say is support. We can recruit young alums, we can recruit older alums because there still are pockets of older alums that are there that are not necessarily engaged. However, what people want to know is that you're listening to me and that when I need something, I can get a response and I need your support. So one of the things that I think is very, very important as I've worked with the young alumni is we have to be willing to listen and then provide them the support that they need. Now, there are two groups that I think that we need to really put some real light and pay attention to. One, to increase membership amongst our young alums. And two, we have a graduate school at Hampton University, and there are people that graduate with graduate degrees from Hampton University that we don't tap. I have 2 graduate degrees and they contact me weekly, sometimes monthly. It's a constant contact. So that is another area where we can begin to grow. Some of them are going straight from undergraduate straight into graduate school. So that's a younger group, and sometimes it's an older group. But at any rate, that is definitely an area that I want to focus on and provide more and more knowledge and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. The next question is going to be under alumni giving. And Ms. April, I'm going to ask that you start with this question. What innovative fundraising initiatives would you propose to support the financial goals of NHAA Inc.?
Thank you for the question, Dr. Jones. I love to talk about alumni giving. That is my favorite topic to talk about. And number one is if you don't ask, you're not going to get it. So we have to find more and more strategic ways to, one, go out and connect with our alums. At some point, we have to start to build some cultivating, because we can't just go out and immediately say that we want you to give at this level. We do have the 1868 where we're asking people to do a recurring gift of $18.68. That campaign has been going extremely well. I know that Mr. Silverthorne spoke on that. But what I have found is again, we have these areas and pockets. So we can no longer stay in Hampton or stay in North Carolina. We have to go out and create these new connections, cultivate these new donors, and then begin to do the ask. So one of the things we have to do is to go where they are. It's very easy for us to go, me in North Carolina, to go to Virginia or to DC or to South Carolina, but we have to be willing to hit some of those pockets like Texas and LA and Arizona, where we can create something for alumni to come to and begin to cultivate them as well. So one of the things that I know we must do is we have to get out of our comfort zone of staying still and sitting still. We have to go to our alums. Thank you.
Thank you. I do have a follow-up question. So, and maybe provide an example when the question is around innovative fundraising initiatives. And so as you're talking about traveling from state to state and collaborative efforts, maybe if you can provide an example of an initiative that you would carry from state to state, that would be something that we could have an example.
So one of the things as a part of the alumni giving trip to LA was for us to go back. We had an event last February where we had a corporate luncheon. So we have had touch points for a year with those persons. So once we went back this year to LA, it was then time for us to pull some strategic teams together for them to discuss how they want to give back to the university. Some of those things are not always monetarily. It can also be for them coming in, making sure that we have internships to offer to our students. So when I think about alumni giving, it's not all monetary. Sometimes the cultivation is actually making sure that they have a gift that they can give back. Like I said, we visited Amazon, we visited Live Nation. So we have people that are in this music field. The campus is in the process now of renovating Armstrong Hall, which will have this state-of-the-art music studio. So that was really a push that we were doing out in LA this past week, is to make sure that we're getting the word out. And this is a
30
touch point.
seconds.
So we were very deliberate in where we went, where alums are in leadership that will be able to feed back into Armstrong Hall.
Thank you for answering that follow-up question.
Thank you.
Ms. Kelly, what innovative fundraising initiatives would you propose to support the financial goals of NHAA Inc.?
As far as innovative, I think when we think about our Hamptonians, we love a good competition. We've gotten to the stage now where, you know, your class name is automatically assigned to you. There's no competing for it. Have a competition with the Ogres versus the QT versus the Onyx classes. We like a good competition. I see all the time where people are shouting out their dorms. You know, VC, I was in Winona, let's go Winona Hall, let's donate that type of way. I also think there could be a larger push behind one of our more underutilized alumni giving venues, and that's matching gifts. I recently transitioned into a new role, and one of the first things I did was say, do you all do matching gifts? Because, you know, I give to Hampton, and, you know, can you all match what I'm giving? And I found out absolutely they would do that. That's pretty much unutilized. I love the 1868 campaign that we're doing. I think we should do more of that, more ways to target the younger alumni. I
30
participate in
seconds.
1868. It's easy, give it every month. But I would like to see more competitions. I would like to see more of the, you know, going to different cities. You know, we could have regional, we have 7 regions. We can have different competitions among our regions. So I would look at doing more of those activities that are friendly, almost friendly fire, friendly competitions.
Thank you. Thank you both. So we're running into our last question under strategic visioning. Ms. Kelly, I'm going to ask you to start off with this question. And it is, name one initiative that you would like NHAA Inc. to develop in assisting University President Daryl K. Williams with delivering his vision to provide the #1 student experience.
Oh, I love this question. When I met President Williams, he said, I'm building the #1 student experience. And I looked at him, I said, then we're going to build the #1 alumni experience, because you can't have one without the other. And something I would say, as far as a program, we need to look at, you know, our student recruitment. I would love to focus on, you know, we have our chapters that go out and do recruitment, but I want to certify people, our alumni all across the country. We have pockets of places where we don't have a chapter that we can tap to say, I need you to work this student recruitment fair and talk to, prospective students. Our Office of Admissions doesn't always have the staff to go. Let's certify people to say, you're certified in the Midwest region to go out and train, be a train the trainer, go out to different student recruitment workshops and talk to, incoming students and their parents. You also have to focus on their parents. So I would definitely, you're going to build the #1 student experience when you have that #1 alumni experience as well.
Thank you. And Ms. April, name one initiative that you would like NHAA Inc. to develop in assisting University President Daryl K. Williams with delivering his vision to provide the #1 student experience.
Thank you for your question, Dr. Jones. Like Kelly, this excites me because we hear this, we get to hear him speak to us sometimes twice a year, and that is his #1 goal. However, I would like to challenge us to remember that it is our job to recruit the students. And now we have a plan in place that we can retain the students, because we can get them here, but we have to be able to retain them. And a couple of ways that we're doing that is, of course, by our Legacy Blue Gala, which gives us funds to be able to fund our Student Emergency Fund. But more importantly, it directly correlates to the university's strategic plan. And a lot of that is built around, we've improved our internet. We are now doing some of those maintenances that we all wish were happening when we were in school, but now they are making major improvements to the building, because those are the type things that people see first. And so that very first experience is when I walked on campus and I saw the waterfront. It didn't matter that I was living in Virginia, Cleveland, up on the 99th floor.
30 seconds.
But we have to make sure that we are making sure we can fund those things to help to make a great student experience. The living quarters are very, very important. And ultimately, our goal will be reached that we will increase our graduation rate as well.
Well, that concludes this particular portion of our program. Thank you both for your time and effort this evening. Time is actually up. We have 2 minutes for you both to provide to us and deliver your closing statements. And the first person to deliver is going to be, let's see, Ms. Kelly.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Hamptonians, the outpouring of support that I've received since launching my campaign has been both humbling and inspiring, reminding me why our pirate family is so extraordinary. Tonight, I've shared my experience, my vision, and my commitment to this incredible association. But at its heart, this is not about titles or roles. It's about people, purpose, and the power of our shared legacy. Hampton shaped us, guided us, and gave us the tools to excel. Now it's our responsibility to give back, to lift others, and to ensure that every Hamptonian experiences the same sense of community. As your president, I will lead with vision, experience, and heart. I will listen to our alumni, invest in our chapters, create pathways for young leaders, and ensure that every voice is heard. I know firsthand that a strong infrastructure, intentional leadership, and clear communication are not just ideas. They are the keys to growth, sustainability, and impact. Because when we build strong foundations and elevate excellence with purpose, our association will flourish. And that's what Excellence Elevated truly means: honoring our legacy, preparing boldly for the future, and strengthening every student, every alum, and every chapter so that Hampton's impact continues to grow and inspire for generations to come. I humbly ask for your support and your trust. Together, we can build an NHAA that not only honors our past, but defines our future.
30
Thank
seconds.
you, and let's go on this journey together.
Thank you. And the second person to close is Miss April.
It's simple, Hamptonians. My work that I have put into this association can speak for itself. But tonight, I am honored to offer myself in service as a candidate for president of the National Hampton Alumni Association. Hampton University shaped my life, my leadership, and my commitment to excellence. And I am dedicated to ensuring that our alumni experience reflects the same standard of excellence. Our community is rich with talent, history, and purpose. And now is the time to strengthen the bonds that unite us to tell our Hampton stories. My vision is rooted in 3 pillars: to create, connect, and to cultivate. Together, we will create meaningful opportunities for alumni to give back, connect Hamptonians across generations and geographical regions, and to cultivate a deeper understanding of our mission and the legacy we are entrusted to carry forward. With experience, vision, and steadfast commitment to our home by the sea, I am ready to lead Hampton alumni into a future that honors our past and elevates our collective potential. I would greatly appreciate not only your support, but I am asking you to vote for experience, vision, and commitment. Vote April Broadway for your next president of the National Hampton Alumni Association. Thank you.
And that, again, once again, concludes this particular portion of our forum. Thank you, Kelly D. Boyer and April Broadway, for your dedication, and good luck on your position in the running. I will now turn the floor over to our chairperson, Brother Lowry.
Thank you all. Appreciate it to all the candidates. Appreciate it. And everyone who did attend. Thank you. Please get the word out to your colleagues. At some point, we will be posting this on the website because it is currently being monitored and taped. I also want to give a special thanks to the nominating committee. Wallace Arnold, these are some people that may not be on. Lisa Neal Graves, thanks to Victoria and Kai for our technology assistance. But most importantly, I want to thank Audra T. Jones and Keisha Mark for an excellent job on moderating. They have been in the trenches with me since the beginning of this process. So I appreciate that. Before I close it out, finally, I think Willie Williams, president of NHAA, may want to say a few words. Willie?
I'm sorry, right before Willie, I just want to say, as we stated, that candidate for recording secretary, Sharice McAdoo, was unable to join us. Please go to the NHAA Inc. website and you can read her platform there.
Thank you, Keisha.
Okay, so good afternoon or good evening, fellow Hamptonians. I would say we are blessed to have had the group of candidates come before you tonight. I want to thank the candidates for their past performance, and I want to thank them for their willingness to serve, to continue to serve our association. I want to thank you. There were at one point upwards of 130 alumni on the line, and as the chairman said, we'll make this available on the website so that other alumni can view and hear the candidates and make their decisions. This is your association. You've got a great group of candidates to choose from. So we encourage everyone to go to the website, make your vote, and then after the vote, support the candidates that you've elected. That's extremely important because they'll be charged with our core competency, our core mission: raise money for Hampton University, recruit the best students for Hampton University, and work collaboratively with Hampton University. That's our purpose as stated in our bylaws, and give them that support. All righty. So thank you very much. And Chairman and the committee, thank you all for a job well done. Great forum. And Derek, I'll turn it back over to you to close this out.
Thank you, everybody. Just as a reminder, you will be receiving additional information from the nomination committee as we work through the nomination process with the vendors. And thank you all for your time this evening. Have a good night.